Hi, I'm Tyler.
And I'm Lisa.
And today we're going to be doing some tutorials on basic math and how it relates to econ, specifically area, triangles, and rectangles. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the area of triangles. We have a triangle. This is the base. This is the height. To find the area of this triangle, you take 1/2 times the base times the height will equal the area. Let's say that the base is 10 and the height is 5. To find the area, you just take 1/2 times 10 times 5. So this is 50, and then you multiply that by 1/2. The area of this triangle is 25. Alright, so that was pretty easy, but how does this relate to econ? So mostly you'll be using this to find consumer and producer surplus, tax revenue, that kind of thing. So we have here a demand curve and a supply curve, and we want to know at this price, in this equilibrium, what's the consumer surplus. So consumer surplus is the distance basically between the demand curve and the price. So let's just say the equilibrium price is 10, and that this intersection right here, this intercept, is 15. And let's say that this quantity right here is 10. So we want to find the area of this triangle. That's consumer surplus. So how we're going to find the area of this triangle is 1/2 times the base, which is 10, times the height, which is 15 minus 10. So this is 5, so 5 times 10 times 1/2, just like we did before, is 25. So that's like an econ example of using the area of triangles. So now we can use the same idea to find the producer surplus, which is this triangle, the distance between the supply curve and that equilibrium price. So let's say this one is 4, this intercept right here. So to find the area of this triangle, 1/2 times the base, which is still 10, times the height, which is 10 minus 4. That equals 6. 6 times 10 is 60, times 1/2 equals 30, which is equal to the producer surplus. And so yeah, that's basically how we use area triangles in econ. Hopefully that makes a little bit more sense and you'll be able to do it in the future.
So now we're going to break it down into basics real quick, and we're going to find the area of a rectangle. So to find area, you're going to multiply base, or sometimes known as width, I guess, times height. So base times height gives you the area of a rectangle. So for example, if the height was 2 and the base was 5, then 5 times 2 equals 10. So now we're going to take a look at how we can apply both of these concepts with the rectangle area and the triangle to an econ problem. So now we're going to take a look at this example, and we're going to try to find the area of consumer surplus. So as you know, this area right here is consumer surplus. So how do we find that? Well, if we take the techniques we learned earlier, where area of a triangle equals base times height times 1/2, we can find it. So in this case, the base would be this 10, because it's this length, and then times height, which would be 20, minus 15, so that's 5, and then you multiply it by 1/2. So in this case, this consumer surplus area would be 25.
Alright, so now we know the consumer surplus here. That's not exciting. We need to know what happens with the rectangle. Where does the rectangle come into this? So let's just say that the supply increases, and we want to know how did this affect consumer surplus. So the new consumer surplus is this big triangle. Now we could find the big triangle here and subtract it from this little triangle, but another way you can do it is to find the area of this rectangle and this triangle. So let's just say that this new price is 10. So first we're going to find the area of this rectangle. So like we saw earlier, the area of a rectangle equals base times height and here our base is 10, and our height is 15 minus 10, which equals 5. So the area of this rectangle right here is 10 times 5, which equals 50. So we have this rectangle equals 50. So now we got to find this little triangle right here too, which, like you see down here, base times height equals 12. So, well, we're going to have the new quantity. So let's just say that this new quantity is 15. So the base here is 15 minus 10, so that's 5. And the height is 15 minus 10 also, which is 5, times 1/2. Alright, so 5 times 5 equals 25, times 1/2 equals 12.5. Sorry, should use easier numbers, but so we have right here that this rectangle equals 50, this triangle equals 12.5. So the change in consumer surplus as a result of the supply increase, change in consumer surplus equals 50 plus 12.5 is equal to 62.5. Positive change.
Okay, so now if you were to be asked what the total consumer surplus is, then we'd take the area of this triangle, which we found down here to be 25, and add it to this new area, which we found to be 62.5, to get 25 plus 62.5 to equal 87.5. And that would be your total consumer surplus.
So, as you see here, when supply increases, which can happen when more firms come into the market or input prices decrease, it really benefits consumers. So consumer surplus was 25 before, and then it went up to 87.5 just because supply increased.
I hope this helped, and if you have any more questions, you can come visit us at the Econ Tutoring Center or comment below. Thanks.
Thank you.